The Warrior Wellness Program is the last 16 years of my life of research and development, consciously and unconsciously, my whole life. The Warrior Wellness Program is where I give you the tools to create a transformation in your life, to transform your body, your heart, your mind, and your spirit, to transform your belief systems, to make your nervous system function in a way that's helpful to you and to those around you. The Warrior Wellness Program is a program for men to become greater men, for men to become warriors, kings, magicians, lovers, lovers of life, lovers of their lovers, lovers of their families, lovers of everything that they do. The Warrior Wellness Program is to help men become dangerous yet kind, savage yet gentle, powerful in the truest sense of the word, not externally, not just externally, but internally, where their heart, their mind, their body, and their spirit. The Warrior Wellness Program helps to balance the nervous system, to create a body that's strong like steel, but smooth and flowy like water. It's a program that helps you to heal your Metawounds, which are foundational belief systems that create filters that you see the life through, filters that are disempowering, filters that are destructive, filters that are keeping you small. That's the Warrior Wellness Program. The Warrior Wellness Program is a 100-day program where we build daily practices. It's based on 4 pillars. The first pillar is correcting breath dysfunction. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be reversing the nervous system from a state of fight or flight, or the sympathetic state, into a state of rest, digest, and relax, which is the parasympathetic state. How we're doing that is through a 5 to 10 minute a day process. The next pillar is the movement practice. We're going to be using ancient warrior art practices to make your body as strong as steel, as hard as steel, but also as smooth as water. This is about 15 to 18 minutes a day. The next part is something that I call the Metawounds. We're going to be reversing the damage that's been done from faulty belief systems, foundational belief systems that were either inherited from people that came before us or our environments, or just through traumatic events. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reversing those belief systems so that you can look at life through a filter that's not covering your eyes. So you can look at life through clarity, through empowering beliefs. And the last part is tribe, where you're going to find your wolf pack. You're going to learn how to stand shoulder to shoulder with other men, be supported by other men, and support other men on their journey. You're going to learn to cooperate. You're going to learn to compete. You're going to learn to step into your true power as a man, part of a tribe that hunts together, that laughs together, that cries together, that cooks together, that moves together, that fights together, that explores together, and that goes deep together. And that is the Warrior Wellness Program.
Why should I do this?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't do it. If you're not ready, you shouldn't do it. Because it's going to transform everything in your life. It's going to transform your whole existence. It's going to transform your beliefs. When you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see a different human. And if you're not ready to see a different human in the mirror, then you shouldn't do it. This is not for everybody. This is not for the lighthearted. This is not for those that are not ready for a transformation. There's other programs out there. You can get a personal trainer. You can get a therapist. You can maybe go drink beers with your friends at the pool hall or wherever it is that you go drink beers. But this isn't that. This is not going to be a game. Yet, it's going to be very fun. And it's going to be very powerful. And it's something that, for those that are ready to be initiated into their true power as a man, it's going to be a life-changing experience. But for those that aren't ready, it's just going to be like any other program that you bought and you didn't do. See, that's the thing. A lot of people buy programs, but they never do them. They never even open them. And the ones that they open, they never finish. This isn't for that. This is for people that are tired of that. This is for people that want to finish something. This is for people that are ready to step into that next level of not that I can, but I will. This is for people to learn that they will and not just that they can. It's for people to create something in their life that they never even imagined that they can create. This is for those people. This is for the people that are ready to step into the golden age of manhood, the age where you're not prey or predator, the age when you become a protector, the protector of those that are weaker than you, the protector of the planet, the protector of your brothers, the protector of your family, the protector of your kingdom, the protector of your integrity. That's who it's for. So if you're not ready for that, it's not for you. Go find a different program. For the men that are tired of being prey, for the men that don't want to be predators anymore, for the men that are ready to step into their protector role in society, the protectors of those weaker than them, the protectors of our environment and Mother Nature, the protectors of their kingdoms, the protectors of their families, the protectors of their integrity and what's right in the world. If you're not ready to step into that, this program's not for you. In this program, you're going to stand shoulder to shoulder with other warrior kings, and you're going to transform the world together. You're going to support each other. You're going to ask for support, and you're going to stand together to usher a new golden age in this world for manhood. So if you're not ready to take on that kind of responsibility in the world, in your own world, this program's not for you. But if you're ready to step into the greatest version of yourself that has ever lived, then this program might potentially be for you. What comes with this program? Warrior Wellness includes your programming for the next 3 months, which is we're going to be working on 3 Metawounds. We're going to be working on correcting your breath dysfunction, and we're going to be learning 1 ancient warrior form that you're going to be memorizing and learning every single day. It includes a community and a tribe that's attached to it. The commitment for the Warrior Wellness Program is 100 days of effort. Every day you're going to be putting in approximately 30 to 45 minutes of daily practice. This practice, I recommend that you do it in the morning, and that's it. That's your commitment. This program is very minimalist in terms of equipment. One of my teachers always told me, high technology, low practitioners. So low-level technology, we're going to create some high-level practitioners of warrior wellness. 100 days. If you improve by 1% every single day in 100 days, you're going to be a completely different human. That's why it's 100 days. Some of the areas of your life that might be impacted by this program: your relationships. You're going to build deep, powerful relationships with other powerful men. Your other relationships in your life, your family, your kids, your friends, your employees, those relationships are going to be impacted significantly as well. Your physical form, your physical body, your physical intelligence is going to be impacted. Your joints are going to feel better. Your neck and shoulder stiffness is going to improve. Your digestion is going to improve. Your sleep is going to improve. Your moods are going to improve. If you do this every day, your moods are going to significantly improve, from anxiety or depression or wherever you're at, all the way to the other end of that continuum. Inner calm, peace. We're going to create that. You're going to get restful sleep. Your sex life is going to significantly improve. And this will just be scratching the surface, because these 100 days are just your first 100 days. Your belief systems are going to shift. We're going to be working through 3 belief systems in this program, and you're really going to dig in and create some very powerful results just from that. Your nervous system is going to shift. You're going to go from a consistent sympathetic state, which is fight or flight, fight, flight, freeze, run away, to technology, scrolling, sex, porn, alcohol, drugs, or whatever it is that you do out of lack of self-control, out of craving, that has a lot to do with your nervous system. We're going to change that. And you're going to create a space of relaxation, rest, recovery. And you're going to create results in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your physical health, in your emotional health, in your spiritual life that you've never even imagined before. What does it mean to be a warrior? A warrior is a man, or maybe a woman in some cases, but definitely a man, that destroys everything that's not aligned with his mission inside of himself. It's a man that cuts away at everything that is not him, everything that's not useful to him. A warrior is a man that keeps his word, that's full of integrity, that's honest, that's powerful, that's worked out his shadows. A warrior is a man who shows up for other men shoulder to shoulder, who takes care of and protects those weaker than him. It's a man that knows what it's like to be a predator and prey, yet he chooses to continue to be the protector. That's what a warrior means to me. A shadow. Shadow, referring back to the work of Carl Jung, shadow is the unconscious. Shadow is what's hiding inside of us that we don't realize that we have, but everybody else around us sees because it's flowing out of us, whether we like it or not. And until we make the unconscious conscious, it's going to keep ruling our life. The shadow isn't only negative things. There's a dark shadow and there's a light shadow. And the dark shadow says, when I point one finger at you, these three are pointed right back at me. So when I say you're an asshole, I only know you're an asshole because I'm an asshole. And it's the same way as when I look at somebody and I admire them with the light shadow. And the only reason I can see how incredible they are is because I am incredible, because I have incredibleness inside of me. And maybe I haven't given myself a chance to develop it yet, but I have it. Because if you spot it, you got it. And that's what the shadow is. Recovery is very important. You want to do recovery work every single day. Some of my favorite things for recovery is to take hot baths in very clean water with Epsom salt. Epsom salt is incredible for your recovery. Fasting, intermittent fasting, is incredible for recovery because it helps your body, well, really to recover, to get rid of all the toxins that it needs to get rid of. And high quality nutrition, choosing only organic products to put into your mouth, choosing only organic products to put into your skin, because you're worth it. Your body is a temple, and it's important to take care of it. A lot of this work that we're doing is recovery work from all the damage that you've done to your body in the past. As a warrior, it's very easy to be sadistic and masochistic to yourself and others. So recovery work is very important. And during this process, I'm going to teach you some things that we're going to be doing for recovery. Shaking is one of them. Meditation is another, lowering your heart rate. And a lot of the work that you're going to be doing during your daily practices is also work and recovery work. So it's already embedded in the practice. The pillars of the program, the pillars of warrior wellness, are actually very simple. First, we're going to heal a dysfunctional nervous system. And we're going to make your nervous system function in the parasympathetic state. The parasympathetic state is relax, rest, repair. You right now, if you're watching this video, it's very likely that you are in a state of fight or flight. Fight, flight, freeze, buy, scroll, weed, drugs, alcohol, sex, porn, TV, addictions. And we're going to get you out of that state. We're going to get rid of all the pain that you have because of that state. Or we're going to at least start getting rid of a lot of that pain, reversing the damage of being in a constant state of fight or flight. That's the first phase. We're going to correct your breathing, and in turn, that's going to correct your nervous system. The second phase, we integrate movement into this practice. For this 3-month cycle, we're choosing Qigong, this warrior form, this ancient Shaolin transmission of Qigong. The third phase is Metawounds. We're healing the psychology, the emotions, and we're really opening up the flow of the spirit through the body, through the heart, through the mind. And those are really the 3 pillars. There's other parts of the program that are layered on top of it, but these are the 3 most important ones. These are the 3 legs that hold everything up. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about all those things. There's 3 main legs. The 4th leg is community. That's where the rubber meets the road, where you're held accountable to yourself, in front of your brothers, in front of your people, in front of your tribe, to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Those are the 4 pillars. And that's how we're going to create a life where you can still be a warrior in a sustainable fashion while feeling incredible and not deteriorating every single day, because you deserve it. You deserve to create a life that's wilder and more lovable and more joy-filled than your wildest dreams. This will definitely help you improve your sex life. Whether it'll help you meet women, that's up to you. But I believe so, because it'll make you a more powerful man, and it'll give you more courage. It'll give you more confidence in your body. It'll heal the belief systems that are corrupting your mind, corrupting your heart, corrupting your body. And through that, you will start to carve out that statue of the awakening giant. And you won't even need to meet women and go out looking for them, because you'll attract the right ones into your life, because you're becoming the right man on your right path by doing the work, by healing, and by creating a space where you can actually love yourself and other people. And your sex life is definitely going to improve through this process. We're going to talk more about that in the next cycle, like specific practices, but your breath, connecting to your nervous system and healing it, controls when you orgasm. That's one of the things that it does, because it controls your vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is responsible for orgasms. So if you've ever dealt with premature ejaculation, if you've ever dealt with maybe sexual incompetence, this will definitely help, because this is the foundational element to not just pleasing yourself, but pleasing the goddesses that you get to have in your bed. It's these practices that have a spiritual base. They're not to make you just stronger or superficial. They're very deep, and they're integrated. They're holistic, these practices. There's breath, there's movement, there's intention, there's attention, there's connection with nature and the earth. And if you go to Planet Fitness, what are you connecting with? What is the intention? Where is the attention? Where is the breath? So these practices came from the ancients, and the ancients' practices were for life. They were for holistic life. They were just part of what they did, as opposed to fragmented. These are unfragmented practices. In your videos, you go pretty fast. In my experience, I go a lot slower. I think that speed is earned through being slow. First, you have to go slow so that you can be smooth, because speed is usually compensation for lack of technique. or lack of comfort in that position. But I've spent so much time doing it slow that I'm able to go deep even fast. And when I'm practicing at home by myself, sometimes I mess around with the speed also. But when you start out, it's very important that you start very slow so you don't miss any of the micro movements. Because if you do, well, then you can develop some sort of imbalances because you're skipping certain parts of the full extension of whatever movement it is that you're doing. You can always mess stuff up, but it's not something that's uncorrectable. It's just part of the process. It's okay to make quote unquote mistakes because you're not really making mistakes in this process. You're just becoming better every day. So your expectation of who you start out with on day one is going to be totally different than your expectations and your standards that you set for yourself at day 100 or 200 or 300 or 1000. So anything that you mess up, quote unquote, is just part of the process. Where should I do these practices? These practices preferably are done outside in nature. If you have soft grass to stand on, even better. If you have sand to stand on, even better. If you have flowing water somewhere, even better. Because these practices help you to connect to nature. It's you're gathering chi, and the best places to find chi is out in nature, around trees, around animals, around just Mother Earth. These practices are to be done either in the morning or in the afternoon or both. I don't like to really do a lot of practices that elevate my heart rate in the evening because it can lead to sleeplessness or restlessness. I like to finish my practices by 5, 6 p.m. the latest. Anything past that, I like to go into more static stretching, maybe some Ayurvedic or Yin yoga that really like lowers my heart rate and it helps to lull me back or deep into sleep. How does this integrate with your other practices? It depends on what your other practices are. Sometimes when we have many different practices, like maybe going to the gym or yoga, and we don't really have a structure that's aligned, the real question first is, where am I going? So when you try to figure out where you're going, you want to figure out where your starting point is. And then you figure out where your gap is, and then you bridge that gap with certain practices. In my experience, most modern day yoga practices are just like fitness training for older white women. And it's it's not wrong, but it stepped away from its intentional and attentional uh, practice that it was in its heyday, let's say in India. How this integrates with practices, well, going back to what I said earlier, it depends on your practice. If you're practicing for fitness and big muscles, this probably won't integrate very well for your practices. Um, it's not that it won't integrate at all, but it's not what it's designed for. This is designed for wellness and possibly even performance, and to make your joints stronger and your body more pliable and loose. Uh, in the Tao, they talk about how you want to be soft and supple. So this will help you to create soft and suppleness, where you create the right tension and then you release that tension. My issues with modern day fitness training or weightlifting, it's not that it's all wrong. I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but there's certain practices that lead to drastic and massive imbalances in the body, and I just over the years I've stepped away from most of them. Some of them I still keep, but not for the aesthetic portion, but it's just that maybe lifting a weight in a certain position will help me to uh, be a better practitioner. These practices originate from the ancients. India, China, Persia, the Russians. Um, all these practices originate from the source of it all. I don't know who the source of it all is. The furthest that I'm aware of is Bodhidharma, who was like a traveling enlightened man, a mystic, uh, and he would teach these practices to different people. They say that he came from Persia, and he went to India, and then he went to China, and it looks like he went to Russia because Russia has a very similar system. And he might have either he taught the same thing to everybody, and then they developed it on their own in their own needs. Because like India looks different than China, looks different from Russia, and probably the Celts too. They probably have their own practices. I'm just not aware of them. I'm aware of the Indian, the Chinese, and the Russian. And he just traveled. He traveled all over the world, sharing these spiritual practices. Let go of your expectations. Let go of your expectations and get obsessed with the process. When you start thinking about the results, they move farther away from you. When you get obsessed with the process, one day you wake up with a gray beard and you're able to do things that you never imagined you can do because you forgot what you were trying to accomplish. You just became obsessed with that thing that you were doing, sharpening your blade. They say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's just falling in love with the process, not because you're looking for a result. You'll get a result, 100%. You'll get a result. You get a result anything that you do. You eat potato chips and watch Netflix, you're going to get a result. You're going to get a result any way. But when you get obsessed with the process, when you get obsessed with the thing that you're doing, and you do it not for any other reason, but it's the best way that you know to pass the time, that's when the results really come in because you're not chasing them. Almost like a wild animal. You know, manifestations don't come from the want of those things. They come when you embody and you step into that thing. And then it's just there because you already had it. You always had it to begin with. If you want to do more, first start with better. Get clear what better looks like, and then you can add more to it. The problem with more without better is then you just have a bunch of junk. But if you develop better first, well, if you still want more, you can go out and get it. But building a foundation, building a baseline, building something that can withstand the test of chaos and stress, and then if you want to experience more, there's a lot more where that came from. I integrate this and I recommend others integrate this into their life by making it a daily practice. It's in the daily practices that we transform. Transformation doesn't come from one-off weekends. You're not going to learn how to defend yourself in a weekend. But throughout a lifetime practice, you won't need to defend yourself. So this is how I look at it. When I wake up in the morning, I don't want to figure anything out. The morning is not the time to figure anything out. The morning is the time to figure myself out. The morning is to mourn in that day, in that moment, who I was yesterday and who just died. Because every day is a ceremonial space for me. When I wake up, I go into my ceremony, my practices, my breath work, my movement, my meta wound work, my meditations. And then through there, I experience the transformation of who I am today versus who I was yesterday. And I recommend that people integrate that into their practice. They create a sacred space uh, where they practice, where there's nobody there. Nobody bothers them. It's quiet. And they get to reconnect with themselves, with nature, with their spirit, with their soul, with their guides, whoever they are. Because these ancient practices tap you into things that are just They're just waiting to be tapped into inside of you. The difference between Tai Chi and Qigong. From my exposure with Tai Chi, which has been rather limited, it seems a lot softer. Um, it seems very health-based. And Qigong has health-based practices and also combat-based practices. Um, that's been my difference. Like that Qigong has a lot of hardness to it too. It's not just a soft practice. My experience with Tai Chi has been that it's a very soft practice, it's very flowing and gentle, and a very amazing practice, especially for older people. But I work with a lot of warriors, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, I work with a lot of athletes, I work with a lot of people that want a sharp sword. They don't just want a smooth sword. They want a sharp sword too. And these practices that I've been collecting and integrating and embodying have helped me to become smooth and hard at the same time. And that wasn't my experience with many other practices that I was experimenting with. I've been experimenting with many. Meta wound. A meta wound is a foundational belief system. It's a foundational belief system that we inherit either, honestly, I would like to say I don't know where we inherit it because everybody inherits it from a different place, but I believe it comes from some sort of traumatic event. And it doesn't have to be you were raped or you seen a murder. It could have been just, I don't know, you lost at a tournament somewhere when you were 5, or somebody yelled at you when you were 5, and you created a belief system. You told yourself something and it stuck because it was like the trauma exponentially shot it into your nervous system and closed stuff down. They closed stuff down inside of you. And then you started to accumulate more experiences that felt like that experience to prove yourself right. So meta wounds are foundational beliefs. There's 7. There's 7 meta wounds that are the foundational beliefs. And in my experience, through my research, they correlate with the 7 chakra points. And each of these belief systems that we've inherited are dysfunctional belief systems. For example, I am not good. What does that lead to? Most entrepreneurs have this one. It leads to I am not good enough. And the problem with I am not good enough is that we just keep striving to try to prove to the world that we are. And we destroy ourselves in the process. We stop loving ourselves. We don't feel safe. And our nervous system just gets worse and worse every single day. So the meta wounds are foundational belief systems that we're able to heal. My favorite metaphor for a meta wound is when you get a cut on your skin and you get salt on it. What do? You start to protect that element of your skin. You start to hide it. And eventually, if you don't take care of it, if you don't heal this wound, one, it'll bleed all over all the people around you because you're constantly going to be touching it. The world is constantly going to be touching it. The world is salty. And the thing is with the wound is that eventually you're going to cut it off and you're not going to want to feel that part of yourself, that chakra point or that part of who you are as a human. So the magic happens with these wounds is we acknowledge them, we heal them, and then we transform. The meta wound heals that wound. The meta wound work heals the wound. It's the salve for the wound. And when you put it on every day, you feel a palpable difference in your life because your belief systems change. They go from the belief system of somebody who's injured. Think of like an injured animal, how dangerous an injured animal is. They'll bite anybody even if they're trying to help them. And that's what happens to us when we're wounded. And this meta wound work helps us to work through those injuries so that we don't attack the world unnecessarily or attract a world that wants to attack us. The meta wound work transforms our belief systems so that we can create a life that's functional and without the dysfunctions that we inherited from past generations and our ancestors who were possibly also wounded as well. There's 7 Metawounds, but I'm going to focus on 3 for these next 3 months. We're going to be focusing on I am good, which is the opposite of I am bad or I am not good enough or not valuable. Alone, fear of abandonment, and worthy or unworthy, undeserving. These are the 3 that I see repeating over and over and over again for a lot of my private clients. And these 3 are going to transform so much about what's going on in your life that you won't recognize what your life looks like in the next 3 months. The daily investment into these practices are minimum 35, 40 minutes a day. And if you want, you can add journaling to that practice. So that's maybe another 5, 10, 15 minutes. But that's it. You're going to be doing Metawounds for about 15 to 16 minutes. You're going to be doing breath work for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then the Qigong. Once you get the Qigong right, once you get this form right, once you get this movement practice right, it should take you anywhere from 12 to 17 minutes. But the first month, it might take you longer. So the first month, you might want to invest a little bit more just to learn the practice. And later, once it's flowing, you can do this anywhere because it's no equipment necessary. You can do this anywhere you go, and it's embodied inside of you. No, you won't lose weight. You can't lose weight. It's impossible for you to lose weight because when you lose it, when you come back home, all of its friends are waiting for you on the corner. You're not going to lose weight. You can destroy the weight. You can disintegrate the weight. You can burn the weight because it's just going to carve off everything that you're not. And the way that you're going to do that is through the breath work, through the movement. Think about this. When you burn out a pound of weight, 20% of it comes out in water. Do you know how it comes out the other 80%? Carbon dioxide through your breath. So if you breathe like shit, you're going to be toxic inside because the toxins stay inside. And we're going to fix that dysfunction. So I'm not going to make you any promises that you're going to lose weight because I don't think it's possible, but you're definitely going to destroy some weight and start creating a body that you've always, maybe you didn't even imagine it, but you're going to create something that's going to be a work of art. The next step, click the button below, to the sides, up top, and fill out an application. Once you fill out an application, me or one of the team members are going to look through it, and in the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to get back to you to see if we're the right fit. And if we're not the right fit, maybe we can make some recommendations of things that you can do to get to the level of what we're looking for in this tribe, in this wolf pack for warrior wellness. This program isn't for everybody, but this program is a powerful program. So we're very selective about the people that we bring on. We only want the highest quality men to join this program with the right intentions. So fill out your application below, and if it's the right fit, then I'll see you on the other side.